For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martin Burr.
And while progress continues on the morgue, other improvements are also underway at the Rance Memorial Hospital. Health officials are also addressing the temporary relocation of the Rance Memorial Hospital's accident and emergency department to facilitate renovations. Patients can now access A&E through the main entrance of Cecil J. Thompson Drive. Health Minister Dr. Michael Darwell says the work should be completed within 1 month.
A lot of preparations has gone in for the alternative location. There has to be negative pressure. There have to be all of the necessary vents and air condition associated with it. We believe that what we have come up with is an excellent working substitute. It may be a bit smaller, but this renovation is going to happen very fast. It's going to be no more than 4 to 6 weeks, give or take a week or two. But I assure the residents of Grand Bahama that this renovation of the Oxy emergency is absolutely necessary. We are unpleased with its current condition. We were unable to do it coming out of Dorian because of the logistics.
Public Hospitals Authority Managing Director Dr. Abinette Roll says although renovation work will commence on August 17th, the temporary space will not hinder any operations within the department.
Based on what we have designed, it should not be. I think one of the beauties of this that is not being discussed was the interim move was actually designed by the clinical team within the Rand Memorial Hospital. That was presented to me and it was reviewed. It was also assisted by Veritas in relation to that as it relates to airflow, and it was accepted. So this particular interim move was really the brainchild of the internal users in there. And so that is not a hindrance.
Now, from healthcare to the workforce, government officials are now on Grand Bahama as part of a review of the island's current and future labor needs, meeting with officials and industry stakeholders to assess current and future workforce demand. The visit comes just days after Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell said government would be taking a closer look at the issue. More details in this report.
Imagine the pressure is going to be on people who have skills here.
Officials touching down on Grand Bahama early Tuesday, meeting with the Grand Bahama shipyard and other industry stakeholders to discuss current and projected labor needs. Of significance, Foreign Affairs Minister the Honorable Fred Mitchell says the Grand Bahama shipyard expects demand for as many as 1,600 workers by next year, February. That demand raises a familiar question for the government: how to ensure Bahamans benefit from the available jobs while giving industries access to the skilled workers they say they need.
The economy of the Bahamas is quite dynamic, and there's a very careful balancing act between importing labor and also protecting the benefits for workers here. One of the issues, of course, is training. And so we spent several minutes today talking to the trainers, their certifications, their ability to train people so that they can feed into the industrial sector.
Welding was among the specialized areas discussed, with certification and timing also emerging as factors in meeting industry demand.
There's a complaint here that people are sometimes sitting at home for a couple of weeks at a time and not have anything to do, and then they see non-nationals coming in and they have continuous work. So we're trying to figure out where that comes from and whether that's a problem that needs to be fixed.
He says part of the answer will have to come through training and starting much earlier to steer young Bahamans towards the trades where demand is growing.
We need to get these young men and women when they reach the 10th grade and try and point them in the right direction, because one of the experiences all employers have is kids come out of school and they have no idea, no clue what's available, what to do, just lost. And to not get people drowning in academics because hands-on work may be their thing.
And the pressure on the local workforce is only expected to intensify, with the United States also facing shortages in skilled trades such as electrical work and welding. Competition for qualified workers is growing. And with Grand Bahama projected to welcome as many as 6 million visitors by 2028, the demand for labor here at home is also expected to rise.
If that happens, you know that there are a lot of things that have to bump up. The services have to improve. There's a lot of jobs that will open up. Housing has to increase. So we are trying as best we can to anticipate all of these needs in a statistical sense and try and be ready for it.
Westgate Resort has announced the opening of its first Caribbean destination on Bimini, bringing new investment and additional tourism capacity to the island. Bimini's Member of Parliament is welcoming the development, but says its growth must also translate into more business and economic opportunities for Bahamians. Shalia Roll reports.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism and MP for Bimini and the Berry Islands, Randy Roll, says Westgate Resort's first Caribbean destination will help further position Bimini as a premier destination in the Bahamas. Reservations are already available for stays beginning October 1st. The property will feature newly renovated studio and two-bedroom villas with accommodations for 4 to 6 guests. Roll says the additional room inventory is something Bimini has needed for some time.
Good welcome news for the residents of Bimini and, of course, the Bahamas by extension. And so, you know, whereas we embrace the opportunity, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I state the position of, you know, my constituents. And
Westgate Bimini Bay becomes the latest addition to Westgate's resort's portfolio of nearly 60 properties. The company is positioning the resort for couples, families, fishing trips, and longer stays. With fully furnished villas located a short walk from the beach, Roll says the impact should extend beyond the resort, creating opportunities in transportation, excursions, dining, and other tourism-related services. But he is also warning that as foreign investment grows, business opportunities and jobs reserved for Bahamians must remain in Bahamian hands.
For us, the most important thing is being able to convert some of those some of those cruise visitors to being stopover visitors where they're coming back, overnighting. Repeat visitors are super important.
The Bimini MP believes central government must ensure developments like Westgate also translate into ownership, entrepreneurship, and business opportunities for Bahamians. And as Westgate brings new visitors and investment to Bimini, Roll says the goal is to ensure residents grow right along with the island's economy.
I am excited for opportunities, especially when they come to an island such as Bimini, which has seen significant growth in the past several years and continues to see growth. I mean, but as the country, as the economy moves, so must Biminites and those who are connected to the island.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
In news from police, a dive for conch ended tragically for a 27-year-old man in Abaco. Police say the Haitian national was aboard a vessel with 3 other men near Manawar Key Tuesday afternoon when he entered the water to dive for conch. He reportedly experienced difficulties and became unresponsive. The man was pulled from the water and taken to the Marsh Harbor Healthcare Center, where he was pronounced dead. An autopsy will determine the exact cause of death. Police investigations continue. Also from Abaco, police on that island are investigating an apparent stabbing and tragedy that left a 44-year-old man hospitalized. Police say the victim was involved in an altercation with a woman at his residence Tuesday afternoon. She later went to a relative's home where the victim followed and was allegedly stabbed by a man. He was treated at a local clinic before being airlifted to New Providence for further care. His condition is unknown. Police investigations continue.
And still to come.
A mother of 5 facing eviction receives temporary housing assistance from social service. We'll have the details of that story, sports, and more when we come back.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good conch salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
K's Heart for Kids invites students in grades 5 through 12 to a free youth conference and back-to-school giveaway. Join them Thursday, August 13th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at St. Michael and Nicholas Parish, Grand Bahama.
Save more drugs. We got you. From cosmetics to prosthetics, what you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, the prices you need and deserve. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. We begin this half with some welcome relief for a Grand Bahama mother who recently shared her story of eviction and uncertainty over where she and her children would stay. Social Services has now stepped in, providing Erica Honorat with temporary shelter while her situation is assessed and efforts continue to help her secure a more permanent home. Shalia Roll reports.
After sharing her story of eviction and uncertainty over where she and her 5 children would stay, Erica Honrad is now receiving assistance from the Department of Social Services. Assistant Director for the Northern Bahamas, Jody Burrows, says the department stepped in following Honrad's appeal for help.
It is most unfortunate that you have families with children who are unable to find accommodations based on the fact that they have children. And while I do understand from a landlord's perspective, I still have a longing to assist and hoping that landlords out there are still willing to assist families who have children, because
Burrows says others facing similar hardships are also encouraged to contact social services, where each case is assessed to determine what assistance may be available.
All requests or all assistance that the department offers, with the exception of medical assistance, is done on our Promise website. You can either apply directly online or you can come into the office and a data entry clerk will assist you with making the application. That entails ensuring that you have all the documents necessary.
Honrad has been provided temporary shelter for 2 weeks, but Burrows says her situation will be further assessed to determine whether additional support is needed.
Happy to report that Ms. Honorat has been assisted with accommodations for 2 weeks in the first instance, and then if it is that she needs additional time, then she will come back to us and request an extension. So I'm happy.
For Honrad, the assistance come as welcome relief after some time of uncertainty. She says she's grateful for the support, while members of the Grand Bahama community are helping her search for a permanent home for her and her 5 children. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
Thanks, Shalia. And from one family receiving help to another now hoping the community will answer their call. The family of a 34-year-old Grand Bahama man is appealing for financial support as he faces a long road to recovery following a serious traffic accident. Remiko Knowles reports.
On July 24th, 34-year-old Joshua Olivia's life changed in an instant. Family members say Joshua was driving along Sunrise Boulevard when he lost control of his vehicle.
The vehicle flipped over a couple times. He was stuck in the vehicle for probably about 2 hours before someone found him. After someone found him, he said that there was a lady that was praying for him, and someone broke the glass open and pulled him out of the vehicle.
The accident left Joshua with a serious injury.
Well, he suffered a serious spinal cord injury, and currently his diagnosis is a quadriplegic.
The young man is known affectionately as Manners. His siblings say it is an indication of the kind of person he is. But now they say he needs extensive medical care and support, care that comes at a significant cost.
So we go up there every day. He's coming along, highs and lows as anyone would be given the situation.
He has a really I can get through this resilient mindset, but, hearing the prognosis, he has ups and downs.
His siblings say they are grateful for the outpouring of support they have received so far and are asking the community to continue keeping Joshua in their prayers.
It is going to be a long road ahead. Going forward, he's going to need specialized therapy, medical care, equipment, transportation, and continued support.
For those wishing to provide financial assistance, the family has also established a GoFundMe campaign titled Joshua's Manners Road to Recovery, Help Him Heal. The family says all support will go toward helping Joshua receive the care he needs as his recovery continues.
The family has taken on as much as we possibly can. And then, of course, insurance is going to cover some portion of his immediate costs, but for the long term, we really are seeking some support from the community with that.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Remiko Knowles.
We salute our Facebook friend of the day, Bernie Davis. We thank you so much for your support, and we hope you are enjoying your day. And that is a look at stories making news. Shane, take it away. What's happening in sports?
Raven, I had the chance to learn a few things from a local tennis player, and let's just say I will be sticking to my day job.
We got to test those skills, Shane.
You'll see shortly.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Shane. Don't go away. Sports is coming up next, right after the break.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm self-insuring my investments, starting with this tarp.
We all remember the blue tarps after the storm. Let's make sure that we are covered with more than a tarp. Don't allow your investment to be at risk. Protect your investment with one of our insurance policies.
Nobody does it better. See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
It's your At Save More Drugs, we got you. We got what you want. We got what you need. We got what you came for. The quality you expect. The prices you need and deserve. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Are you ready? I'm ready.
I am ready.
I
am ready. I am ready.
Ready or not, it's here. That's right, the biggest gospel show with me, Uncle T Baby Boy, on 8:10 a.m. That's right, interviews, greatest songs, praise and worship. It's going to be exciting. We're going to take the Bahamas to the world and bring the world to the Bahamas.
Welcome to the ZNS Total Sports Cave, everyone. I'm Shade Stubbs. Recently, I had the chance to catch up with Columbia College junior Rachel Thompson, who was currently running her own tennis clinic for the month of August, which she says has been a big hit so far.
I've been doing my tennis clinic for about 2 weeks now, and I started it because I wanted to give back to children that were interested in the sport, as my first ever coach did to me in Houston, Texas. He had a coaching clinic, and so I'm just doing what he did, but now home. It's been going well. I have a few students, and they're very interested in the sport. I've seen a lot of progress in them so far. Their skill set, hand-eye coordination, everything. Some of them are hitting the ball really hard, harder than I was at their age. So that's impressive. And they're just doing really good, and I really love it.
She rose to the ranks as a junior player starting from the age of 7 and eventually made the leap to the collegiate ranks, which she says has been going steady.
Sophomore year was a bit rocky. It wasn't as good as my freshman year, but my freshman year was amazing. I had a great record. I love my team. I built a strong connection with my coach and my teammates and my captains. Everything is just...
Now, for the fun of it, I decided to actually learn the mechanics of a tennis swing from Reach. And let's just say the first swing was disastrous. But eventually, I got the hang of it, and I'll just stick to my day job. However, that's me. But if you want to take your game to the next level, check her out. And as she puts it, don't let the growing pains stop you.
Whatever comes, it's just a bump in the road, and you just have to fight through it and get through it.
808-221 is the number you need to dial for more details on how you can get in on the action. Meanwhile, on the baseball diamond, Chavez Young and the Quebec Capitals continue to roll in the Frontier Baseball League. Their latest win came at the expense of the Brockton Rocks by a final score of 12-4. Young finished with 1 hit, 1 RBI, and scored 2 runs in 3 at-bats. The two teams are set to run it back this evening at 7. Lastly in sports, John Paul Jones and the New York Liberty were in Indiana taking on the Fever Tuesday evening. Jones would post a double-double, 14 points and 10 rebounds. However, the Liberty would fall 106-92. The Liberty will be back in action against the Los Angeles Sparks Thursday evening at 8 on Prime Video.
And that's my time, everyone. But your local forecast is next. And Shane Stubbs, sometimes it's okay to not be okay, but remember, everything will be okay.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Save more drugs, from cosmetics to prosthetics. What you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, vitamins you need, and prescriptions you came for. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Use a bin to put it in. Let's keep it clean. Yeah. Put it in the trash, my guy. Not on the ground, not on the beach, not in the bush, not in the street. No, yeah. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Not on the ground, not on the beach, not in the bush, not on the streets. Just put it in the trash, my guy.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
Put it in the trash. Put it in the trash. That's it, that's it. Put it in the trash. Just put it in the trash. Put it in the trash. That's it. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Not on the ground, not on the beach, not in the bush, not in the street. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Yeah. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Yeah. We just gotta keep Grand Bahama clean.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis.
I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight. They're coming your way next.
Here is the Disaster Risk Management Authority's official 2026 emergency shelter listing for the Southeast Bahamas for Acklins, Crooked Island, Great Inagua, and Mayaguana. Crooked Island, Church of God of Prophecy, Cripple Hill, and Landrell Point Community Center, Landrell Point. In Inagua, St. Philip's Anglican Community Center, Matthewtown, and in Mayaguana, the Mayaguana Comprehensive School in Pirates Well, and Betsy Bay Community Center in Betsy Bay.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, Mother Nature upends a Bahamian family's cruise holiday in Europe. Plus, find out what taxi drivers have planned to move the government to action. And acres of land earmarked for a new housing community in eastern New Providence. In the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. An Italian volcano's surprise eruption disrupts travel for a group of 120 Bahamians. One of the passengers, the Nassau Guardian's online editor, Christelle Roll Brown, who told our news team her family docked the boat and traveled from Messina to Catania on the Sicily's eastern coast and just south of Mount Etna, only to learn their flight was canceled and the airport closed. They then tracked to another city to leave the country, but the Roll Brown family is still in limbo, not knowing when they will return home. European media outlets verify that travel disruptions have impacted eastern Sicily since last Friday, when renewed rumblings from Europe's most active volcano and shifting winds started carrying ash over the region. The airspace was fully closed only in recent days as the eruption discontinued. The return home for a group of 120 Bahamians then has been left in limbo. In other news tonight, back here at home, a family is counting its blessings more than a month after the Independence Day crash claimed 10 lives. The pain is far from over. Our Maya Moss has the story.
The family of Tony Gillott, one of 10 people killed in the Independence Day plane crash tragedy near the San Andres airport, is now turning to the public for help as they prepare for a funeral with no definitive timeline provided as to when they will be able to hold it. Launching a GoFundMe started by Gillott's twin sister, Tamika Barrett, who hopes to raise $7,000 to give her sister the dignified burial she says Tony deserves. To date, more than $2,000 have been raised, but money is only a part of this family's struggle. Another is the lack of information and the return of Gillott's remains.
It is very frustrating. Being in limbo is the hardest thing for me because that's my twin sister. I don't know. No, we weren't allowed to view the body or anything yet due to investigation. So I don't know what my sister look like. I don't know what remains is even remaining. The airlines isn't reaching out to us. We heard through hearsay that they would be paying for the funeral, but that is not something that any representative from the airline came and told any of us. My mom, me, my sisters, no one has came out and reached out to us.
For the Gillots, a proper burial represents more than a funeral service. It is the opportunity to see their loved one honored, surrounded by family and friends, and giving her family the chance to say their final farewell.
A lot of people are saying that, why don't we cremate my sister? A part of our family, we don't believe in that. So, and my mom does not want to do that, does not want to cremate my sister, and our family doesn't believe in it. So that's why we're going the route that we're going.
More than a month later, the Gillot family is not alone, as other Independence Day crash victims are still waiting for the return of their loved ones' remains. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Amaya Moss.
Well, thanks, Amaya. Industrial action, meantime, could be brewing down at the country's main gateway after talks over a decades-long dispute involving transportation stakeholders didn't yield the results anticipated. Fern Carey tells us more.
President of the Bahamas Taxicab Union, Tyrone Butler, threatening major industrial action after claiming talks with government officials have failed over long-standing issues with livery operators at the Lynden Pinling International Airport. Butler is accusing livery operators of taking money from the pockets of taxi drivers at LPIA. He revealed during a press conference Wednesday that he met with government officials last week, and it was agreed, among other things, that effective Monday, August 10th, there would be a change that would allow only taxi drivers on the arrival door at LPIA. He said the agreement was to take place for 2 weeks on a temporary basis. However, he said livery operators were apparently not informed about the agreement. Butler stressed that there is no way of resolving the issue without industrial action.
And we can no longer continue to just meet and meet and meet. We are now going to rely on all of the options that's available to us. And so whatever happens moving forward, we're going to do what we have to do. And that's why we are involving the leader of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress. We're expecting our affiliates to join us because the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union has had it. We asked them to come and walk with us, to stand with us, as we are asking the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress and our affiliates to do, because enough is enough.
On Monday, livery drivers blocked taxi drivers' access to LPIA in a short standoff after President of the Livery Drivers Union, Tory Austin, said several taxi drivers occupied spots designated for his membership. Back in July, taxi drivers also staged a protest over the presence of livery drivers at LPIA. Meantime, President of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress, Obi Ferguson Casey, says only the taxi drivers have the legal backing to be where they are stationed at LPIA.
The law is clear, you know. Those spaces are reserved for taxi drivers. If you pay your dues, you expect to get benefits from paying dues, but you have done that. What's the issue? I'm just making it up. I didn't bring the copy of the act. It's in the act. Those spaces are reserved for taxi drivers.
Ferguson said the Taxi Cab Union has the full support and backing of the TUC. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Well, Transport Minister, the Honourable Leon Lundy, has since commented on the standoff and the subsequent threat of industrial action, suggesting the taxi and livery drivers meet, engage in good faith, and work together for an amicable solution. He added that once both parties reach an agreement, his ministry will ensure the terms agreed are respected. Well, still on union news, the Bahamas Union of Teachers reaching an impasse in negotiations for a new industrial agreement. This latest development coming months after teachers overwhelmingly rejected a resubmitted salary proposal. Here's BUT President Belinda Wilson.
We are scheduled to meet on Thursday, August the 13th, 2026. So I will update all of you, the members, after our session on Thursday, August the 13th, 2026. I want to also inform you that we have engaged a mediator and we intend to invoke our right to have a mediator at the table.
Well, coming up, an update on yesterday's power outage at the Supreme Court. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news when we return.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Long summer, hot sun, people coming over, and nobody feeling like cooking. This summer, wait for the sign. Presenting KFC Summer Bucket, the official meal of the summer.
KFC, it's finger-licking good.
50 years of nation building, see the legacy we trust. Oh, the water is our lifeline, and the future flows through us. From the pine barrens to the ocean, in the sun and in the dust, we are building for tomorrow, and the future flows through us. Yeah, yeah. Yes, the future flows through us.
The Water and Sewage Corporation, celebrating 50 years of nation building.
Sun, sea, good friends.
And bold new flavor has arrived in the Bahamas. Introducing the new Jalapeno Ranch Cheeseburger. Spicy jalapenos, cool ranch, fresh Wendy's beef, one perfect balance. This isn't a heat you run from, you enjoy it. Bring the heat. Keep the cool with Wendy's new Jalapeno Ranch Cheeseburger.
From your first heartbeat.
Thank you, and the little guy's all set.
We've been here for you, by your side.
She's good.
Through every challenge, every milestone.
6 miles, hold it.
This house will be yours someday.
Every triumph.
Maybe hers.
Covering, protecting, securing.
The insurance covered everything?
Here since 1899. Always here. Kalina. Caring for you.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Adidas Mall at Marathon. Adidas, you got this.
You're looking at a shot there of the waterfront Margaritaville Resort on West Bay Street, and that shot courtesy of drone pilot Isaac Roberts. Welcome back. A family is counting its blessings after fire swept through their Johnson Road home today. On the scene for us is our Lloyd Allen. Lloyd?
Well, Makusha, it's a sad development here in the Johnson Terrace area where around 2:30 today, a family of about 7 persons who occupy this home here behind me, their house was completely gutted by a daytime fire. Now, helping us to understand what happened is 46-year-old Mona Bethel, who says she was at home along with 3 other people at the time of the fire. Tell us what happened.
I was living in the front room. I hear some car blow outside. When I hear some car, I don't check in because I don't have no appointment with nobody. And when I hear some voice say, everybody in the house and come out, fire in the meter box. When I try to come out, when I come in, I get 3 people inside. I call them come out. When I try to come inside to get my phone and my wallet, everything went up, and I can't go inside. When I try to get there, was to put the water in the fire well, I can't do nothing.
Now, since that incident, the fire department has been here. They've done their best to save what could be salvage. And unfortunately, the entire structure and its contents were destroyed, including this car here behind me. Now, Ms. Bethel said that she has spoken with the representative from the area, Mr. Kino Wong, who offered his thoughts about the unfortunate development. But after tonight, what will you do? Where will you sleep?
I don't know where I go and sleep. I don't know yet.
Tell us about those occupants who live in the house. Yourself and who else lived in the house?
Me, my son, my stepdaughter, my two grandsons, and my sister child, and my cousin.
Now, thankfully, no one was hurt. But again, if any idea how this may have happened?
When I did be happen, my body shaking. I feel to stand up. My neighbor give me some water. Yes, go stand up over there.
And what's unfortunate as well, Makushla, I spoke with her daughter-in-law who said that, she left work this morning with everything okay. And upon arriving here at home, she arrived to just smoke and rubble. And so this is an unfortunate development. We do have you in our prayers at ZNS, and we will be following this story. Reporting here from Johnson Terrace for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, thanks so much, Lloyd. The Supreme Court, meantime, getting back to business today after a power outage plunged Bank Lane into darkness, creating major challenges for the court and nearby businesses. According to a public notice, the courts had to cease operations on Tuesday due to the power loss. ZNS News understands the problem started with a generator at the complex, which had been running since Friday and eventually became strained. Now, the outage has also raised concerns from the Bahamas Bar Association. Its president, Kalia Parker, says persistent power outages have adversely impacted the courts, and he's calling for urgent intervention. Parker warns that when the courts cannot open their doors, the rights of citizens are put in jeopardy. The court, not the only business feeling the impact. We're told several of them were without power since Saturday, with service restored just this morning. BPL initially said Tuesday's outage was caused by a cable fault near Rawson Square in the early morning hours. And while we're talking court, retired Police Sergeant Prince Albert Simonet Jr. has lost his bid to have his dismissal from the police force overturned by the courts. Simonet was discharged back in December of 2024 amidst allegations of corruption and trafficking in dangerous drugs and firearms in a United States indictment. The ex-police sergeant was hoping presiding Justice Franklin Williams, KC, would agree to a judicial review of the matter. During the hearing, he argued, among other things, that then Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez acted unlawfully and denied him justice by removing him without a disciplinary hearing. Well, Simonet also sought damages and court cost. After hearing from both sides, Justice Williams ruled that Simonet's contract had expired in November of 2023 and had never been renewed in writing. He also found that the ex-police sergeant presented contradictory evidence to the court. Justice Williams then dismissed Simonet's application for judicial review and refused all of the reliefs he sought, which included orders to overturn his discharge and the awarding of aggravated and exemplary damages. Well, the government's hoping to make a dent. In other news this evening, proposed changes are said to be on the way for the government's Animal Control Unit, and by extension, the 16-year-old Animal Protection and Control Act. The thrust, according to officials, is a response to a number of violent dog attacks, which have led to public outcry. Lloyd Allen takes it from here.
In recent weeks, the Bahamas has made international headlines with a number of animal attacks across the country, the most recent occurring on Bimini involving a 9-year-old visitor. Now, according to officials at the Animal Control Unit at the Ministry of Agriculture, they say plans are in motion to enhance legislation putting teeth behind the law to better protect the public. The 2010 Animal Protection and Control Act speaks to a number of animal control measures, including ownership and licensing, dog identification collars, and even the publication of certified dog owners. Department of Agriculture Director Dr. Jason Sands says the majority of pet owners fail to follow the law.
We realize that this is an unfortunate commonplace in our communities, and we really need to put a stop to it because it is dangerous.
Now, part of that danger, he says, arises when there are reported attacks and dog owners fail to come forward As an alternative, during registration, some dogs are tagged via microchip.
It is not a legal requirement to microchip, but that is good practice, and it is a practice that we are going to encourage more.
Then there are instances where individuals breed dogs without informing the department.
The Act already has extra requirements for a breeder, someone that's registered as a breeder. But we are going to go even a step further, and that's the process that we are working on. And this, of course, requires some adjustment to the Act.
While Dr. Sands was unable to provide a timeline on when those adjustments will be made, he says the department is developing a campaign to educate the public on the proposed changes, as well as providing an amnesty period before the new rules are enforced. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, the government's hoping to make a dent in the ongoing housing shortage with a new subdivision in the Foxhill community. Foxhill MP, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, shared this much on those plans on the sidelines of Tuesday's Foxhill Day celebrations.
Road, there is about 13 acres of land just across the street, or proximate to what is now 700. The Lionel Davis subdivision is one that we did down the road there a couple of years ago, and so I think if we can develop the 13 acres, it would be wonderful. I think you could probably get 80 homes in there, so be a good thing, and hopefully affordable housing for people, because housing is a big issue in this area.
Over in Exuma, a famous tourist spot, Chat and Chill, has been temporarily shut down over public health and safety concerns. That's the word from Bahamas Health and Food Safety Authority Director of Food Safety and Quality, Dr. Patricia Johnson. Johnson says the authority was alerted to the situation by Exuma's island administrator after social media comments raised concerns about the Family Island Eatery.
Once we arrived there, even before pulling up to the island, we realized that the structural integrity of the building was concerning at the time. And upon our inspection of the facilities, there were a number of infractions that were noticed.
Johnson commends the Chat and Chill team for cooperating with the inspector and taking swift action.
We left them a number of improvement notices to be corrected, and they assured us, of course, that they would adhere to that. In fact, I would have received video of the work that we were assured would take place that same evening after we would have left.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Marco's Pizza. Marco's Pizza. Some never tasted so good.
Marco's Summer Party is bringing the fun. Choose 2 large one-topping pizzas with a 2-liter soda for just $34.95. Or grab a big square deal, 1 medium, 1-topping pizzas with boneless wings for just $39.95. Enter to win weekly Baja Bay water passes and your very own Marco's Summer Party pack all summer long. Marco's Pizza. Summer never tasted so good.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Eden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Eden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'd expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Well, we have a new face filling in with Royston tonight, joining Royston rather, on Access Now. Matea, how are you? And what's coming up in Access Now?
Hi, Kush. I'm pretty excited. You know, the newsroom is cool, but I would like to say that the desk is a bit more exciting.
So excited to have her. We normally, of course, see her in studio and, of course, on the streets doing your thing. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Tonight, we have coming up at Access Now, we have a lot of stories, including the continuation of Fox Hill Day. We mentioned it yesterday. The festivities are continuing. You're going to see Lloyd Allen pulling up front and center with a lot of things to present.
Ah, sounds good. As always, stay with us, the Bahamas Tonight. The National Report continues after this.
With the new Duo Pizza from Little Caesars, nobody has to chew. One half loaded with Parmesan, pepperoni, and Italian sausage. The other half topped with veggie seasoning, ham, and green peppers. Now that's a winning hand. The Duo Pizza. Double the flavor for only $13 VAT inclusive. Only at Little Caesars Bahamas.
Now available at all 5 of our locations. Little Caesars Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, East Street Pineapple Plaza, Charles Saunders Highway, and 1 East Plaza. It's not madness, it's Little Caesars.
Pizza. Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Well, a full day of food, fun, culture, and tradition as Foxillians came together yesterday to commemorate the nearly 2 centuries-old emancipation of slaves in that community. And as Lloyd Allen tells us, by all accounts, it was nothing short of a good old down-home experience.
What you're looking at is the traditional maypole, and just moments ago here at the 2026 Fox Hill Day Festival, some of the young residents of this area took part in that experience. Now, we spoke with many attendees here at tonight's event, hundreds turning out, and here's what they said about the Fox Hill Day Festival.
We have been here for 6 weeks, practiced, came out, did a great job at the maypole. I am so excited and happy. They did a wonderful job. I'm so proud of you girls.
We're from Philly. It's our first time coming here. I've been coming here for 20 years. This is my first time coming here. I'm enjoying myself so much.
Quincy Trillium Pratt, Fox Hill born and Fox Hill raised. Just 1 block down the street there. And don't care where I am in the world, I come home for Fox Hill Day.
I'm having a great time at Fox Hill Day today. This is the first time I've been here in about 20 years, and it's amazing. I'm so happy that I came. The food's amazing, the music and entertainment, I love it.
Apart from the traditional climbing of the greasy pole, the festival, the country's oldest, has become quite the foodie's paradise. We're here with Kamin Adderley. He's in charge of the Frog Chill and Grill. Kamin, I know you have a lot of items here.
Some nice, good deep-fried lobster, some pork, some chicken, some barracuda, and some snappers ready to go.
It tastes like Fox Hill.
That's it.
So the verdict is out. The Fox Hill Day Festival, like wine, gets better with time. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Oh, good job there, Lloyd, who certainly seems like he had a very good time. That does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Bahamian culture takes center stage at Goombay Summer Festival in Bimini. Parliamentary Secretary, the Honorable Randy Rolls, shares how the Gateway of the Bahamas celebrates this annual festival.
It's an opportunity for Bahamians to stay in contact with, like I said, their culture. It's a native event that happens throughout the Bahamas. You know, this is important for the residents. They look forward to it, and it's an opportunity to come and share moments together and listen to good Bahamian music and experience Bahamian culture. We have a good cross-section of vendors, which we are happy that they came out. We have a number of native dishes, foods. We have jerk. We have some grill. And of course, everyone wants to sell drinks. And of course, there's also toys for the kids. And so there's also somewhere for them to have fun as well. And so we try to encompass as many people as possible. It's a good opportunity for some local entrepreneurs to make some money during this time. And so we're going to start something in short order called Beautiful Bimini. And so for those who were here this year, once you come back next year, you're going to see a whole new Bimini. One where we're excited, one where the people are excited, and one that's much cleaner and definitely ready to take on everything else that Gourmet offers. It's important that from here we go up. We're going to learn from these experiences. We're going to have a postmortem, and we're going to continue to build on the successes from this year. And so, like I said, for those who would come to Gourmet in the future, they're going to experience more, see difference, and it is our intent to be the best Gourmet in the entire Bahamas.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Joshua Robbins, and this is Tourism Today.
Here is the Disaster Risk Management Authority's official 2026 emergency shelter listing for the Northwest Bahamas for Abaco, Andros, the Berry Islands, Bimini, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, and New Providence. Abaco, Central Abaco Primary School in Central Pine, Friendship Tabernacle, Dundastown, Guana Key Primary School, Guana Key, Manowar Primary School, Manowar Key, DRM Abaco Shelter, Central Pines, Murphytown Community Center, Murphytown, Amy Roberts Primary School, Green Turtle Key, Faith Walk Church of God Community Center, Cooperstown, Crossing Rocks Primary School, Crossing Rocks, Moores Island School, Moores Island, Soul Seeking Ministries, Moores Island. In Andros, Bowen Sound Pentecostal Ministries, Bowen Sound, Reverend Euthal Rogers Primary School, Deep Creek, Friendship Baptist Church, The Bluff, Cleora McKenzie Preschool, Long Bay Keys, Burnt Rock Primary School, Burnt Rock, Mangrove Key, Mangrove Key High School in Mangrove Key, South Andros Multipurpose Gymnasium, Money Rock South Andros, Bamsey Training Center, Bark Community, Nicholstown Clara Evans Primary School in Nicholstown.
Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Happy Hump Day to you and welcome to your Wednesday edition of Access Now. I'm Royston Jones.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Matea Stewart, filling in for Marlena tonight, and we've got your fill of today's light and lighthearted news.
Absolutely. Well, you know, the Bahamas is the creme de la creme as a travel destination. That rolls off the tongue quite nicely. We got word today that the Nassau Cruise Port has been nominated for the Caribbean's Best Cruise Terminal in the 2026 World Cruise Awards program.
Yes, and we've also been nominated for Caribbean's Best Cruise Destination. But Diane, I have to ask you, are you a cruise girly or not?
Good question.
Actually, I've never been on a cruise.
Oh.
I know, so I can't say if I'm a lover or not because I don't know. But what I do know is a memorable cruise depends on great weather.
Oh, yes, it does.
I love it.
And what I can tell you about the weather is after a quieter than usual hurricane season so far, we've got our third named storm of the season, Tropical Storm Cristobal, that's heading east to northeast and should dissipate by Thursday. The National Hurricane Center is watching two other areas of potential development in the Atlantic, with one in particular standing out with an 80% chance of cyclone formation. The other has a 30% chance, and both are several hundred miles south and southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Islands. Fortunately, right now, the two disturbances do not pose an immediate threat to land. But continue to tune in, especially if you'll be cruising soon, as we monitor these systems and keep you updated. Now, bringing it back home, our satellite picture shows some clouds over the extreme northwest Bahamas. And we've also got some clouds approaching the southeast Bahamas associated with a westward moving tropical wave. Elsewhere, we've got clear skies. And as we're still experiencing a heat wave with the entire country still under a heat advisory, we may get cloudiness and brief passing showers in some areas. This is because high temperatures increase evaporation, then that water vapor rises, then condenses, then rain. So back to the heat, another reminder to stay hydrated and dress lightly if you can, and also travel with your umbrella, because I sure needed it today. Now, looking at our 3-day boating forecast, in the northwest Bahamas tonight and tomorrow, we'll get southerly winds moving at 10 to 15 knots with seas at 2 to 4 feet. High tides at 8:27 this evening and again at 8:49 in the morning. In the central Bahamas, southeast winds moving at 10 to 15 knots, seas at 2 to 4 feet. And in the southeast Bahamas, east to southeast at 12 to 18 knots. That's because of that tropical wave approaching. Seas at 3 to 6 feet with that caution still in place. Then on Friday in the northwest Bahamas, we're going to get southeast winds again at 10 to 15 knots, seas at 2 to 4 feet. A high tide at 9:39 in the morning, followed by a low tide at 3:51 that afternoon. In the central Bahamas, southeast winds 12 to 18 knots, seas at 3 to 6 feet. Now they're getting a caution. And in the southeast Bahamas, we're maintaining that caution because they'll be getting southeast winds at 15 to 20 knots picking up with seas at 4 to 7 feet. It's time now for your international temperatures, which are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
From the island, I ain't from no state. Buy one ticket and I on my way. I coming home dead, my mommy baked Johnny bread. Dead, my cousin, I won't call that.
That was your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. And that wraps up your Access Weather Forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
As always, thanks so much, Dan. Now, we have to go back to the fact that you haven't cruised yet. And my opinion is, and I've cruised recently. I was in London for about a week and did a Baltic cruise, touched about 5 countries, including Sweden, Germany, Finland, Estonia,
And you know,
Holland.
Royston, we all can't be like you. We all can enjoy cruises at our leisure and go to all these different countries, but I adore you.
I will only say that because I think it's a good snapshot of the destination. If you want to make an intended, longer vacation there, it gives you a good little preview. Right?
You know,
so give it a try.
I concur.
You concur. I like that. I like that. We've got a lot of stories for you tonight. In fact, the Salvation Army gets a historic new leader at the helm. We'll tell you who it is later in the show.
The Church of God of Prophecy is encouraging us all to love your neighbor. Today, honoring 4 organizations that live by the principle.
And more from Fox Hill Day celebrations because the festival was just that good.
And your Thursday sports report is coming up.
But up next, we meet a mother fighting for answers and help in the face of her daughter's medical mystery.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Access now. Stay with us.
It's scorching, piping hot. I mean, just blazing. No, I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Devon corned beef, 12 ounces, $2.49. Hunt's ketchup, 32 ounces, $3.49. Whole chicken wings, $1.79 per pound. Boneless pork chop or roast, $2.99 per pound. Sweet jumbo black plums, $2.39 per pound. Not at this one or that one. You'll find real savings at every Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
This hurricane season, don't wait until a storm is on the way. The time to protect your most valuable assets is today.
Talk to us before it's too late. Don't wait till devastation is at your door. We can help you protect your home from all kinds of perils, including hurricanes.
In the event a storm is traveling, new policies cannot be issued until after the storm has passed. We're here to help you weather the storm with peace of mind.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, Shop Smart, at Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
That video you just saw has captured hearts on social media as it documents the shocking reality Daryl and her 4-year-old daughter, Selah Grace, face after she started experiencing epileptic seizures when she was just a year old.
Today, Selah Grace has recently lost her ability to walk and talk, and her mother says she's currently facing a severe, undiagnosed medical condition.
Here to share more about this medical fight is Daryl and her little daughter, Selah Grace. Thank you so much for joining us on Access Now tonight.
Thank you for having us.
So good to have you. Please tell us about her journey, her medical journey, which has been, I'm sure, very trying.
It has, at the age of 1, she started having seizures. They presented themselves with fevers, and the year after that, at the age of 2, she didn't have any issues. But in 2024, she started having seizures out of the blue. That led to her, in 2025, eventually losing her ability to walk and talk.
Oh, that's so tough. What were the first signs that maybe something wasn't quite right?
She started drooling. There was a lot of drooling. She stopped eating regularly, and she just was mainly out of it. But now you can see she's starting to get a little bit more of herself now.
Definitely. And you recently went public with her story. What has that support looked like?
It has been amazing, and I want to personally thank everyone that helped to either share or donate. I am overwhelmed in appreciation and gratitude, and I'm just grateful.
Community really is everything. And we know that you recently hit your half-mark goal of $30,000. Tell the public how you can support or how they can support in other ways.
Other ways, well, prayers are always number one. You know, prayer changes all things.
Absolutely.
And the GoFundMe is still running, as well as my account. So the financial support helps a whole lot, and I do appreciate it.
And every little bit counts. You heard it here first, so make sure you support. I have to ask you, in terms of Selah Grace, what was some of her favorite things to do before, of course, all of this started?
Before this, she loved to eat, especially. She loved to dance.
We share that in common.
Yeah. She was very, very vibrant, enjoyed life, and I can't wait to see her back to herself again.
And how's that process been in terms of, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot to take on, the medical visits, of course.
It has been really, really toiling. It is a 24/7 job, but, you know, I trust God, and I'm very confident that she's going to be back on her feet again.
So glad to continue having that faith.
Thank you.
And can you tell us what's next for the medical journey? What's next on the list of processes for you?
Well, we're going into Panama to have again, evaluated and hopefully get further medical intervention and some therapeutic care.
Selah Grace is showing you some affection there. Love to see it.
Absolutely adorable in this pink dress. I want to thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Make sure you go and support that GoFundMe account.
Of course.
Absolutely. You're watching Access Now. We've got more and lots more coming up next.
Corporation continues to celebrate its 50th anniversary, we take a look back at one of its most renowned landmarks, the Water Tower at Fort Fincastle. Built in 1928, the Water Tower once supplied Bay Street up to the Baintown area. Assistant Supervisor of Water Supply System Control, Cosine Forbes, recalls what it was like producing water from the historic tower.
We used to barge water from Andres. And when we barge water, we used to set, the barge used to dock at our key. We pumped the water from our key up here, which is Fincastle. Fincastle then pumps the water to the tower. And then from the tower, then it gravitates to the city area.
The tower used to be able to pump 80,000 gallons of water daily. However, as the population grew, Water and Sewage upgraded its operations at the Blue Hill Hydro Tower some 15 years ago. Engineer Jade Williams-Jones explains.
Okay, so now we have the Hydro Tower, which supplies about 80% of the Providence Island. It has a capacity of 750 gallons. Right now, water from the reverse osmosis plant is pumped over to our ground storage tanks, which we have 3 currently in operation. And then we pump the water from the ground storage tanks up to the hydro tower, and as mentioned previously, supplies 80% of the island through a gravity-fed system.
While the water tower is not operational, WSC continues to work with the Antiquities, Monuments, and Museums Corporation to ensure that the history of the tower will be shared with generations to come. I'm Candia Smith, and that's what's on tap.
The only thing hotter than the weather these days are the red-hot, sizzling specials you only find at Super Value and Quality supermarkets. President Whole Milk, 1 liter, $1.89. Captain Crunch cereals, assorted 10 to 12 ounces, $4.39. Fresh limes, 3 for $1.19. Sweet whole watermelons, $7.99 each. Boneless strip steaks, $7.99 per pound. Not at this one or that one. You find real savings at every Super Value and Quality supermarkets.
You know, you can sometimes work in the same building as someone for years, sometimes even in the same studio, and still not really get to see them. And I think that applies to a lot of corporate spaces beyond ZNS.
That's actually so true. You almost have to make a conscious effort to step outside of your usual space. But now we're getting to spend the rest of the week together. Absolutely. I get to join in on the fun again, and I am ready for it.
Well, we are so glad to have you, of course, filling in for Marlena while she gets some much-needed rest. And you know what they say, when you stay ready, you don't have to
get ready.
Nicely done. Let's get ready for these stories and dig in. We got a sneak peek last night, but after dark was when the 2026 Fox Hill Day Festival got into full swing, giving patrons a one-of-a-kind Fox Hill experience. Our Lloyd Allen brings us more from the fun and festivities.
Whirlwind Tuesday evening for the Fox Hill Day Festival, as hundreds gathered to experience one of the oldest festivals in the country. Now, beyond the crowd faves like the plaiting of the maypole and the climbing of the greasy pole, the night proved to be a historic moment for many of the youngsters present. But at Fox Hill Day, the food usually steals the show.
This is Dem Andrews Girls.
All right, then. Give me your first and last name.
Calverna Small.
All right, tell us about what you have.
Oh, today we have some good old banana pancakes, the original from scrap. Right here, banana pancakes, plus we have guava pancakes. Then guess what? Some stuffed crabs. Listen, the original straight from Mastic Point, Andrews. Delicious, I can tell you that.
My mom has been doing it from a very, very young age, and I've came to know that, you know, sometimes you just gotta stick with your roots.
And I got a chance to sample their famous conch fritters, topped with a secret sweet fritter sauce.
All right, so we have Gregory Brown out here again. He was out here on Emancipation Day, now back here on Fox Hill Day. Gregory, what you got tonight?
Boy, we got some delicious stuff tonight. We got some grilled conch, as you can see. We also get some grilled lobsters, as you can see.
All I can say, this food look like it gets better and better.
Oh yeah, man. Every year we get better and better.
For those in attendance, this year's Fox Hill Day Festival was one for the books and remains a showstopper, giving Bahamian culture and entertainment a lively platform for well over 100 years. For the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now, I'm Lloyd Allen.
The local arm of the Salvation Army marking a historic first in the organization as a new leader takes the helm. Shaquille Dames reports on the new structure of the charitable body.
Lieutenant Colonel Marcia Morris is the first female divisional commander of the Salvation Army in the Bahamas, a historic move for the organization.
Major priority has always been people. And so we want to be able to reach out to people, to go into our communities and to see what are the needs of those communities. We want to look at what are our programs. Are they working? Do we need to change our programs? Do we need to refocus in some areas? So yes, those are some of the things that we are definitely going to be doing.
But reaching more people and adapting services will require more than a change in a direction. It will also require the resources to make those plans possible. Lieutenant Colonel Oral Morris, Divisional Leader for Development, says securing that support will especially be important as the organization navigates a difficult financial environment.
We are dealing with challenging economic crisis. I hate to use the word crisis, but that's the best way I can express it. Elsewhere, and right here in the Bahamas, there are challenges in raising funds and so on. And as the divisional commander mentioned, we are looking forward to partner with as many persons as are willing to partner with us and to provide the necessary resources, financial resources, so that we can fulfill our mission.
As the Salvation Army welcomes this new divisional leadership, the organization is looking ahead with a fresh vision for serving the community. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Shaquille Dames.
As always, thank you so much, Shaquille. Today, the Church of God of Prophecy paused to recognize 4 organizations for their work in communities across New Providence as part of its Love Your Neighbor Day initiative. The church presented donations and recognition to Hands for Hunger, FOAM, Families of All Murder Victims, the Ranfilly Home for Children, and the Persis Rogers Home for the Aged. Church of God of Prophecy National Bishop Dr. Woodley Thompson says the church wanted to support organizations already responding to the needs in the community.
For us to demonstrate that the organizations within the community are doing an excellent job already. And so we wanted to support them and encourage them in loving their neighbors.
Willard, brand ambassador for the Ranfilly Home for Children, is herself a former resident of the home, and Candy Gibson, founder and director of FOAM, both say the support helps them continue work that extends well beyond today's recognition.
As a former resident myself, I know the work that it takes. I know now, being a part of the team, the work that we do on a daily basis to keep our doors open and just to provide a safe and nurturing environment for our kids where they can thrive and become productive citizens in society.
And so be out here 14 years and to be recognized and continue to get recognized, you know, it gives you more boost. You know, it's a pat on the back to say, hey, continue going, you know, continue moving forward, continue doing the best you can.
Stay with us. You're watching Access Now. The Bahamian spirit doesn't stop at our borders. It travels wherever our people go. Every Wednesday, Bahamian Footprints shines a spotlight on Bahamians who began their journey right here at home and are now making a difference around the world. Their accomplishments are our pride. Their stories are our inspiration. Bahamian Footprints, proudly presented by Coca-Cola, every Wednesday at 6 p.m., only on What's Trending. You're looking at a bird's eye view of Montague Beach. Your Access Now sports report is next.
Welcome to your midweek sports check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. 2028 set to be a banner year in the global sporting arena, with LA being the center of attention as the host of the 2028 Olympics. Just ahead of that, here in the capital, perhaps serving as a great preview, the 2028 edition of the World Relays taking center stage at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, facility which is currently in the process of major cosmetic upgrades in order to host not only the World Relays, but several other major sporting events as well. As Minister of Youth and Sports, the Honorable Mario Bolag, giving us this update.
Well, the preparation is going well. You know, I think right now, I think we'll really be making a visit here in January to check our stadium and see how far he is with the progress of our renovation. I know we are waiting for the fiber cables to be input for the internet aspect of it, and once that is done, then the Chinese will be able to close up the structure as the walls and stuff, and so I think that should be commenced. The last time I got a report, I'm meeting with the board today, who's supposed to give me a further update from the last time we met. So I would say from the last time I've met, that work should commence at the end of this month, but they may have a further update that I will get today. When the new board is, which was installed, is when we meet and discuss their last visit on a meeting with the Chinese and Ministry of Works as the construction. But I think all will be well. We understand that there's a timeline that we need to be ready for when World Relay come for their visit.
The Minister's comments coming on the sidelines of the opening of the Ministry of Youth and Sports boxing camp at the National Boxing Gymnasium. Youngsters set to learn the ins and outs of the sport under the guidance of some very knowledgeable instructors.
It will be 5 days. We anticipate about 52 kids to be participating in the camp. First thing they'll be learning is the basic fundamentals, proper footing, the proper way to throw a punch, rotation on punches, and the most important part is defense.
Honestly, it's as exciting as it could be because, you know, a new facility means new equipment, new training programs, and I'm just all in to enjoy it all.
And finally, it's Wednesday, which means the latest installment of our Women in Sports series. I'm Michelle Butler, this time catching up with a young lady helping to mold some of the country's best gymnasts.
strength, balance, and determination.
Faster.
Those are just a few of the lessons gymnastics has taught Janelle Johnson over the years. Which started as a childhood hobby, quickly became a sport she fell in love with.
My first time ever coming to Bahamas Gymnastics was at the age of 3. But then I ended up deciding, hey, maybe this isn't for me. But then I ended up revisiting the sport at the age of 8. That's when I realized that was something that I loved to do. And I wanted to continue at the competitive level. So from there, I started as a recreational gymnast and then trained from there. And then coaches saw some potential in me. I competed my first competition, I believe, at the age of 10 at Atlantis Crown. I came first place all around, and then after that, I competed level 3, level 6, and then started training level 7. Y'all line up at the end of the runway. Y'all have your last turns, okay?
But her journey didn't stop as an athlete. Now she's giving back as a coach, helping young gymnasts discover the same confidence and joy she found in the gym.
Coaching has been the best thing that ever happened to me. I never realized that I would love something so much. Like before, I loved the sport, but then coaching just brought a different light into the picture. I honestly started viewing things differently. I learned how to work with children. I learned how to work with different personalities. I learned how to be able to see people more than just a gymnast, just an athlete. I saw them as people and people who are now a part of my life as well.
While she's passionate about developing young athletes, she also has big dreams beyond the gym.
My main career is to become an echocardiac sonographer. So I'm currently at the University of Oklahoma to study sonography. So currently I'm doing my prerequisites. And then from there I would apply to my program, hopefully by next year. And then from there I would be the new diagnostic medical sonographer in the Bahamas.
Whether it's continuing her education, growing the sport, or pursuing her career, she's determined to make an impact wherever life takes her. Through every jump, tumble, and landing, she's proven that success isn't just measured by medals, but by the lives you inspire along the way. For Women in Sports Wednesday, I'm Michelle Butler.
Thanks, Michelle. That's been a look at your sports on this Wednesday. I'm Amajal Knowles, signing out until tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Alexis Dorgeville, Miss Teen Galaxy Bahamas, making history recently, becoming the first Bahamian to capture the Miss Teen Galaxy International title in her division. The Bahamas also marking a first hosting this year's pageant. Alexis bested beauty queens from Canada, the UK, Australia, India, and the Netherlands after 6 days of competition. She took home prizes for Best Judges Interview, Fun Fashion, and Most Photogenic. Congratulations, of course, to her. Now, we have something new for you tonight. On the break before sports, production asked us to draw something as a challenge. Matei and I both took a minute to draw it. Tonight, we were challenged to draw a
seagull.
A seagull. Shall we show what we drew and see who the winner is tonight?
Be honest. Don't be biased.
I can see something already. Can you see that? You can't see it?
I think that's a win for me by default.
You serious?
I think that's a win for me by default.
Tilt it down a little bit. How's that? We might have to, Matei, considering your social media experience, why don't you take a photo of these later on, post them, and get audience buy-in to see who won, because I'm claiming the dub. I'm claiming the W tonight.
I like the way you think, Royston. I don't agree with that dub. I think I'm going to take the dub, okay? I think I'm going to take the dub.
All right, we'll agree to disagree until we get some final results in from production and the audience. So you heard it first. See who you decide who got the best seagull for tonight. But that's going to do it for Access Now for tonight.
Stay tuned for The Rundown with Howard Grant.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Is taking a quick break, but don't worry, we'll be back Monday, August 24th, just in time for back to school. Fresh stories, big trends, more fun. What's trending back at 6 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
Did you know that it's easy to teach a pot cake new tricks? Just go grab a treat and show them what you'd like them to do. Whether it be sit, stay, or walk properly on a leash, pot cakes are very intelligent and always want to please. Try it with your dog today.
Ginger. Sit. Good girl.
Good boy. Down. Yes. Roll over. Roll over. All the way. Roll over. Come on. All right.
Did you know that 1/3 of all traffic fatalities occur as a result of excessive speed? Excessive speed impedes a driver's point of perception, which affects braking distance. In the inner city, residential areas, and high pedestrian traffic areas, the speed limit ranges from 15 to 25 miles per hour. On the outskirts of the island, especially where a sign is not posted, the law dictates that the speed limit shall be 30 miles per hour. The maximum speed limit for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is 45 miles per hour. Here are some safety tips for you. Avoid aggressive and distracted driving. Reduce excessive speed and drive at the appropriate speed to suit the current road conditions. Avoid operating a vehicle while impaired by alcohol or drugs. Be vigilant and always maintain good visibility of the road, and be mindful of other road users, such as pedestrians. Leave out in a timely manner to compensate for potential traffic delays. Even one life lost to traffic fatalities is one life lost too many. On behalf of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, please slow down.
This public service announcement is brought to you by FG Insurance Agents and Brokers, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Howard Grant, and welcome to The Rundown. It's a beautiful Wednesday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. And that means it's Political Roundtable. This is the time when we talk about politics and things happening in the country. Joining me tonight is our resident political analyst, none other than Ian Munnings. Ian, welcome back, my brother. It is so wonderful to have you with us.
It's a pleasure, Howard, to be here. Everybody's off vacation now.
Everybody's off on vacation and being able to do a great deal of things. Some stuff has happened, and it's important that we have to actually take this opportunity. I want to be able to do this in the first block to talk about this. President of the Bahamas Taxi and Cab Union, Tyrone Butler, had some information to be able to put out today. I want to be able to talk about it, threatening major industrial action after claiming talks with the government officials have failed over long-lasting issues with livery operators and Linden Pinden International Airport. We've been talking about that. Butler's accusing livery operators of taking money from pockets of the taxi drivers at Linden Pinden International Airport. Now, he's also going on that he revealed during the press conference Wednesday that he met with government officials last week, and he has agreed, among other things, that effective Monday, August 10th, it's Monday gone. Monday, August 10th, there would be a change that would allow only taxi drivers to arrive at the door of the LPIA. This is a lot. You're going to be able to talk about that further. That there would be only 3 livery vehicles in the commercial lane of the taxi lineup, and he said the agreement was to take place for 2 weeks on a temporary basis. However, he said livery operators were apparently not informed about this agreement. Butler stressed that there is no way of resolving the issue without action. We have some information that we're going to be able to do about this. Fern Carey actually put some stuff out there We're going to play that for you right now.
Stand by. 5 seconds. Stand by, 4.
We have some information also from the minister being able to speak to us with clarity on a press statement that he's done. This would be the second press statement that he's put out, and the very first press statement would have been over the past few days. We can be able to see that. You should have been able to see that, to see exactly what's what. The very first one was that the ministry is aware of their concerns among taxi drivers, livery tour operators at the LPIA, and it continues to work together for fair and workable solutions. These issues cannot be resolved without cooperation from all sides. Unfortunately, one of the challenges that has been getting all the stakeholders to sit in the same room and engage constructively. That's one of the challenges. While negotiations continue, the existing rules remain in effect and will be enforced. Disrupting services or creating disorder will not be tolerated. LPIA is the primary international gateway, and disagreements cannot be allowed to impact the traveling public or tourism product. We remain committed to dialogue and finding a way forward, but not until changes are agreed upon. The existing rules must be respected. Talk to me about it.
Well, there's a few things we're going to have to consider when we're speaking about these areas where Bahamians are using the spaces in regards to their livelihoods. We have to consider the fact with the delivery drivers and the taxi union, right? There is a dispute between both of these persons. This has been going on for quite some time. Here it is. We're seeing a minister of transport, very open, very transparent, trying to find out what is the situation as this is a new rule that he is assuming. We've seen him went out to there when they blockaded the airport, and he spoke and he said, listen, I had a discussion with you. You know, I spoke to you as a man. This is what I did. And we haven't seen that level of ministers going and actually addressing those issues on spot. So he said, give me some time. Let us get together. Let us speak to what we agreed to. And we saw right after he would have had some words with the minister, he would have brought the persons out there and they would have done their blockade by the airport. Here goes the situation. The taxi drivers union believe that this stake in the airport is for them. Delivery drivers believe that there is a stake in there for them. These are all Bahamians. This situation what they have going on has nothing to do with the Department of Transport. This is a personal issue between both these union persons, which in the space they share, they're all Bahamians. They need to be able to go to the table and say, let's make sense out of the situation. Because we're in a space where we are bickering and we are rowing that one set of people should be here when the other set of people shouldn't be here. Are they not all Bahamians? This is my question. So we have issues with ourselves. But we don't have a problem when the foreigners come inside this country and they're activating in spaces that we are in. They don't have an issue with that. But now we have an issue where we say Bahamians are sitting in these spaces and we're fighting against ourselves for the same dollar. Let's come to some applicable decisions and say, hey, this is the way forward. This is what they need to be able to do. And they have a minister who is now there at transport who is willing to mitigate, to be the mitigator between both of those persons and say, hey, what works best with these people? Let us find out the solution for it, because we can dwell on problems all day. We need solutions.
And in his first statement, he's actually indicated that it's been a difficult thing to be able to get everybody to sit at the table to come to a constructive agreement to be able to move forward. He's put some second statement on. I think he's just been able to put this out today. You
want to read it?
I want to be able to talk about this. He says, I want to clarify what I said in my previous statement. The Ministry of Transport's position is that two parties should first meet, is the information that he's put out. And he says, engage in good faith and work together to arrive to a mutually acceptable solution. Mr. Obie Ferguson represents the taxi union led by Union President Tyrone Butler. He says, while Mrs. Belinda Wilson represents the livery union led by Tori Austin. The ministry respects the role of both representatives and understands that there are legitimate concerns on both sides. He goes further to say that at this stage, the ministry is awaiting the outcome of the meeting between two parties. Once they have reached the agreement, the Ministry of Transport will do its part to ensure that the terms agreement upon the respected and both parties live up to their commitments that they have made. We recognize that this matter affects the livelihoods of Bahamian people who work hard every day to provide transportation services, and we want to see fair and workable resolutions. It goes further to say that our focus is not on taking sides. It's not on taking sides. And he's actually being able to talk about, I lost it, hold on. Our focus is not on taking sides, but on helping to facilitate an outcome that is fair, practical, and in the best interest of everyone involved and our tourism product. There's a lot, man, and that's a lot that being able to say that this is not the first time that we would have been able to see this now. Every time that there is this sort of an uprise or a kick up in these particular things, we are hearing, if it's not livery operators, is the private bus charters being able to come onto the bus. If it's not the private bus charters, it's just kind of a conversation to talk about whether or not the quote-unquote Ubers or the perceived hackers have space in these particular places. And I believe that, similar to a conversation that we were having, there's no room for diversity in the traditions that exist in our country, and that is a crying shame. In a progressive country, in a progressive nation with accessibility and different options that people could make themselves. In a country now that has moved away from solely being able to amplify this idea of anchor hotels and open up the concepts and afford opportunities for the government to be able to receive revenues with Airbnbs, there should be duplicity on an equal opportunity that exists in other sectors. If there is going to be this fight, it says to me there's a lack of maturity. If there's going to be a relentless fight that every time I got to swing open my telephone and look at Bahamas Live or Bahamas News Tonight or Bahamas Babaya or whatever happening, and somebody on the floor wrestling.
Something's wrong with that, Howard.
Something wrong with that.
Something is really wrong with that.
And this is not about, because human beings are human beings, whether we're in Pakistan or whether we're in Pittsburgh. Human beings are human beings. We're not doing this. Oh, don't do this in front of the tourists. The tourists are not unfamiliar with these things. They've watched Cops. They know exactly what's what. They're not unfamiliar with this. But it is the decorum that exists in our country to be able to come to a very clear understanding that in a diverse space, that we should be able to sit down and make a determination of how we're going to be able to do something. That's all this is, and I believe that's what the minister is stating. Listen, whatever the agreement is, whatever we're stating, all of us have to sit down to come to this conclusion.
You have to come to the table.
You got to be able to come to the table.
And be mature enough to be able to come to a decision that to say that will work in the benefit of all Bahamians. The word is to work in beneficial to all Bahamians. That it must benefit all Bahamians. Because here it goes, you want the ministry to stay on one side, preferably looking at the bigger picture for all the Bahamians. The reality is they're not going to pick sides, not as the government should not pick sides, because you're dealing with all Bahamians. Yeah. We have 11 million tourists that are coming to the destination every year. 11 million. I want you to understand 11 million. We have about 4.5 million tourists that stay over that come through the airports, and another 8.so million that comes by cruise ship. So the market is big enough for everybody inside that.
Everybody can get a little taste.
Everybody can get a taste of the pie. So it makes no sense that one union doesn't want to sit to the table and the other union is prepared to reason. Let's reason. This is what we ought to do. We ought to be in solidarity, we're supposed to be, as one people for one common goal. Everybody could eat a piece of the pie.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you. The traditional aspect and idea that has gone far beyond our comprehension, to the point that the old taxi drivers who would have passed away would have given an inheritance of a taxi plate to their children. You know these stories, so don't pretend like you don't know these stories.
So you're saying by right.
I'm trying to tell you that the traditional concept has taken over the minds of these particular persons, and they feel like they have an established right and an entitlement to be in this particular space. No room for diversity, no room for opportunities that exist externally. We are here. I have been waiting on this line for a long time. You're not going to create another lane, and that is what I believe that we're fighting in this space.
But here we have a Ministry of Transport, a newly minister appointed to that area, Mr. Leon Lundy. He's coming to them and he said, listen, I can't speak to my predecessors and persons that have occupied that space prior. I am here now. Come speak with me. Let us sit down. Let us find an amicable resolution to our problems. Let us do this. And if we do this, then everybody could be happy because there's enough pie on the table for everybody to get a slice.
Well, this is interesting to me, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to take this quick commercial break tonight. We're going to see you right back after this.
With the new Duo Pizza from Little Caesars, nobody has to choose. One half loaded with Parmesan, pepperoni, and Italian sausage. The other half topped with veggie seasoning, ham, and green peppers. Now that's a winning hand. The Duo Pizza. Double the flavor for only $13 VAT inclusive. Only at Little Caesars Bahamas.
Now available at all 5 of our locations. Little Caesars Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, East Street Pineapple Plaza, Charles Saunders Highway, and 1 East Plaza. It's not madness, it's Little Caesars.
Pizza. Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. Customers want service and they want consistency. From the start, that's been our commitment. We work to sail on time every time. Our customers have come now to expect this from us. And one of the biggest challenges we've had was finding adequate funding. SPDC from the very start has been a lifesaver. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
By giving unconditionally, not expecting anything in return, I thought was a wonderful way of showing this love. And I believe that it is love that truly draws people. And so I thought you could cover a lot more people by feeding. Volunteers, you know, they have truly been sold.
My passion is to help, and I thank God for what I can do through the help of Bahamas Feeding Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting here at the round table Wednesday evening. You know I normally have my good friend Garth here with me, and definitely Ian Munnings. Ian is here this evening. We're looking for Garth to be able to show up and have a great conversation with us and being able to move forward. I think this is his birthday month, or just coming off his birthday month, so he may still be celebrating it.
God's still celebrating.
You need to stop it, right? Praise God. I didn't back from vacation, God. Come on, let's go. It's time to jam, right? Now, talk to me about this. A lot of things have been going on. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about some things that have happened since May 12th.
We're talking about the ease of business in the country. We're thinking about the small man and what he has to go through in regards to the TCC. Every persons with contracts knows the TCC is, right? So with the TCC, it is good for 3 months. A business license is good for 12 months, right?
Tax compliance certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is good for 3 months.
It's good for 3 months.
That's it.
That's it?
When a business license is good for 12 months.
Now, let's be clear about this now. We can have a very clear conversation because you know I got to pay TCC.
Yeah, you have to pay the TCC, but
I got several business licenses. I got to pay them.
But the business license is valid for 12 months, Howard.
I'm self-employed, and I can tell you from Howard's perspective, all right? Before I put my foot in my mouth. I wouldn't be able to afford the TCC. This is only Howard grant.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to me now.
I'm talking.
You talking?
We talking now.
Let's talk. I wouldn't be able to afford the TCC if I let that thing stretch out 12 months. Jesus can tell you that. Jesus can tell you that. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Every 3 months, because of the necessity, if I'm going for a contract, if I'm going for something, I know that I have to be able to do this. I don't have someone in place, and I'm busy. You don't really remember these things all the time. That, okay, I need to do this on a month-to-month basis. So when I need to be able to get my TCC to ensure that I'm tax compliant to be able to get whatever I have to get, I can reach a 3-month payment.
There's some things you have to consider, Howard. Persons that do not make or exceed $100,000 are exempted from paying business license.
Mm-hmm.
You're sure? We agree to that, right?
Under $100,000.
Under $100,000, right? Yeah. So if you don't exceed that, then you're exempted from paying that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm exempted from paying that, Why would at the end of the year, when it's time to renew, we're putting persons who are paying, people who are not paying, everybody's going in the same portal that makes it that much difficult. When if you didn't indicate to the government, that I made over $100,000 a year, just you're responsible to do that. And so if you don't make over $100,000, we could just say that you should be in a separate portal. And then with the TCC being every 3 months, if that expires, sometimes you are current and you can't get paid your contract, that's for the small man. Some people look at it as a small thing, but it's a huge thing for most people experiencing.
Are you self-employed?
Self-employed.
I'm self-employed. This particular portion that I've understood over the years is that you need to be able to play this to ensure that whatever contributions that you make well into the future is secured. As a self-employed person, sometimes we tend to look over those things. Our TCC is attached to that. Our TCC is not just solely for us to be able to make sure that we have to pay our slice, our share of our insurance. Right? So as a self-employed person, I need to be able to pay whatever those contributions are that I may not have paid over the past 3 months, over the past 12 months, over the past whatever, because I now owe that to the government.
That's from the NIB's perspective, or that's from the government inland revenue?
Everything is tied. Everything is tied into your TCC.
So they're liaisoning between national insurance to inland revenue.
They do.
Here it goes. If NIB then tells you you can go and put it into the portal to your TCC to inland revenue, it takes you 4 days. Even if it's squared away.
Now,
even if it's squared away.
You're on the same page.
Okay, I just want to tell you now. This is
4 days is wild.
And this is doing business.
I need to get paid today.
So imagine I'm owed by the government. I can't get paid unless I have a TCC. Here it goes. I went to NIB. They said I'm good. Just go and put it into the portal. The portal takes 4 days. And for whatever reason, if the portal then rejects that, and
says, take another 4 days.
Come on.
I know where you.
Come on, talk to me, Howard.
Listen, you right here.
Howard, talk to me, Howard.
Be right here.
And can you imagine?
Be right here.
The grassroots people, people who survive on a daily income. Every day they go to the grocery shop. I didn't say every week, Howard. I said every day. Technocrats are making decisions over people who have to live every day, day to day. Today may be hot dog and white rice. Tomorrow it may be noodles. This is the reality of most people.
Vini Sanchez.
But this is the reality of many people. Many people are experiencing this in this country. Yeah. But if the technocrats who are paid by the taxpayers and pay an exorbitant amount of monies can go into the shop with their cards and they can swipe and the card doesn't decline it. But those people, they're rational. So they're looking into the food stores and they're looking at the price of a product. So they say, okay, I know my children need to eat. So you think that they literally go in there and say, I need to buy something healthy when I can't afford it?
I agree with you. I agree with you on this particular note. Me and you on the same ticket. Now, one thing that I got to say, you got to pay your tax.
I agree with you.
I agree. We got to pay our tax.
I agree with that, Howard. I agree with paying your taxes.
Now, I believe, watch me, I believe that unless there's something that they're doing behind the scenes that we don't know about, if I owe, let's say, hypothetically, $750,
right?
Okay,
a payment plan should be implemented.
Even if there's a payment plan, I got the $750 in my hand now.
Right.
If we're talking about the small man who's just gotten one of these small contracts or who wants to get a contract, who needs to be able to have a clear TCC, so forth and so on, he got $750 in his hand now.
Right.
And he goes to NIB and he pays his $750 for whatever his contributions are. The NIB system can be able to reflect that he's paid his $750 right now. They go through this portal. It should not take you 4 days to be able to get this. I just want to be very clear with
this. But sometimes they pay Howard, and I can tell you many people have been complaining about it. They go into NIB, and I'm not saying that all persons don't do due diligence. I'm saying to you that there have been complaints where a lot of persons go to NIB, satisfy NIB, and yet when they get to inland to go put in their stuff in within the portal, they are declined. And now they have to go back again.
This man talking sense.
And they have to go back again.
I got to be decent with you. I never want to put nobody on blast, never use my platform to do those particular things, but I would have said to you in your face, my disappointment with the lack of diligence when it comes to being able to ensure that you do your job. Now, you all might have been cussing me. Well, if you'd have paid a long time, you wouldn't have had this problem. Yeah, we could cuss all day, but I pay. And it shouldn't take you 3 weeks. It take the people 3 weeks one time.
I'm telling you,
you ain't understand.
Grand Bahama, there was an individual on a voice note.
It takes 3 weeks.
There was an individual from Grand Bahama who was stating that if one person is responsible for, in most government entities you would find this happening, if one particular person who is responsible for an area is absent, everything stalls and everything stops. That's wild.
If somebody is on vacation,
that's wild.
You could forget about it.
That's wild. In the 21st century here in the country. That's crazy. I can't understand that.
If somebody on vacation, you could forget about it. Now, with the level of decency that I have and the position that I sit on a government station, I always want to be able to tread lightly when I say these things, but it's very important that we bring this to the forefront if we're talking about progress, if we're talking about progression, if we're talking about this proper approach that we need to be able to take to find productivity in our country, something needs to be said. The fact of the matter is that after we would have given you, let's say, the $700, the $1,500, whatever those particular things are, you should expedite these particular things, flag that, even if you have to, similar to what you would have done in the passport office. You remember one time you go to the passport office, you need to be able to expedite a passport.
Quickly.
They could be able to do that. The minister, who was Fred Mitchell at the time, said you could pay $200, we can get these particular things done.
You can expedite it?
Expedite it. If you want to be able to give us a small service fee, or how would you tell the people, well, I don't know what they have to do in the background, but if you want to be able to ensure that things are done swiftly, and you could expedite that, charge me. Well, Mr. Grant, there's going to be a $35 service fee. If you want us to be able to expedite this today, you can be able to get that tonight. We can put a rush on it. That's fine. Take the $35 because I need to put this thing in today to show myself compliant so I can get my contract so I can get paid before the weekend because I don't know when this can happen again. Let's hurry up and get this done.
But here goes the situation. If you have to upload your business license and your current TCC to a portal for a job, contractual job, etc., and you're waiting on your TCC and the time expires within the portal to place all of your stuff and your documents within this portal, don't get me wrong, that means you lost an opportunity. It's not that you didn't pursue to do what you needed to do. The idea is not to frustrate the individuals, it's the ease of business. This is what we're finding throughout of our country.
This is a heavy conversation that you're bringing on for me today.
But this is what's happening in our country. This is happening in our country, and we're talking about young professionals. I believe, in my opinion, that we have too many young professionals that are sitting on the sidelines and not being able to render some assistance to the government and to the country itself. We need to be able to go into these sections, in them sectors, by sector, and to be able to see what challenges we have, and how do we make things easier to do business?
Can I say this to you?
Of course.
I've become so frustrated with this over the years. I've had, since I've been in Nassau, maybe about 6 business licenses. Right now, I have about 6 active, maybe 4 to 6 active business licenses. Let's be very clear about this. I also have a limited company. I have 2 limited companies. I do business. You know I do business. Yeah. Okay? And so it has been such a debilitating process to go and get these TCCs and compliance and this and that, because I'm also on Bonfire. You know Bonfire?
Bonfire, yeah.
I'm also on Bonfire. So whenever I'm looking for a contract, or if I'm looking for something to be able to do, an opportunity in these particular spaces, Bonfire requires me to be compliant. Now, Bonfire would tell me in advance, Mr. Grant, you have X amount of days before this particular thing is expired. Mr. Grant, your business license is coming up, being able to be expired. Your TCC, you need to be able to have those things. These are the things that you need to be able to be compliant to bid on any one of these particular contracts. I won a couple times on Bonfire. So I'm saying this to say to you, I've become so exhausted with going in and dealing with people. Oh, God, I wish I could tell you what the woman told me. I don't even want to tell you what the woman told me. I was so disappointed in her.
But Howard, the frustration that you've incurred...
I don't do it myself no more.
But the frustration that you've incurred, many Bahamians are seeing the same thing happen to them.
I don't do it myself
no more. And here's
the
problem. Some Bahamians may be frustrated to the point that they just give up.
I promise you, I was at that point, but I need my business. Right, let's be clear. So I paid someone to do this for me. There are companies, there are entities who can do this for you, who could go through the stress and all these things. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You tell me how much I owe you. Okay, get it done. Bam. That's it.
And then sometimes
everybody can't do that.
But we have to consider sometimes individuals go and they, as entrepreneurs, and they open up a business, get a business license, they open up a business. Not necessarily mean because you have a business and you have a business license, mean that you're making money also. Sometimes people get those things and they haven't even made $1.
No.
Some people haven't made $1.
I have maybe about 2, and that's where you got to be able to send your letter in to say you haven't done business.
But this level of information is the responsibility of the entity that you have to deal with. So National Insurance should have then said to the general public, or have something readily available that you can go on the site, or you can see that this is what it is. If you have a business and you didn't make any money and you didn't employ anybody, all you simply have to do is write a letter to National Insurance informing them that you didn't have any employees between this time and this time, so they can close that out and then they can reopen it again. Here is the problem. So sometimes people may not know the information, so it's very important and very imperative for these entities to disseminate the information to the general public as an A, B, C, and D. Not everybody can articulate things the way you may or somebody else could. That's the reality.
I like that. I like that you're being able to say that. I think this is a very important conversation. I think that there are many sides to be able to see this. I think that one side that we have to focus on is the side of productivity, the side of being able to identify that we have a responsibility to move forward with progress. I just wanted to pause and let you...
But we need to see progression. We need to see progression. You know, I'm going to tell you, we have to see progression. And you know, looking at the ministries, there are some ministers that I've seen in this particular space that I could consider that is leading the charge in the front line. They hit the ground. Some of them hit the ground running, and some of them I feel like they're still sleeping.
I think I want to be able to say that too. I want to be able to commend those ministers who have recognized their responsibility and being able to take it on, whether it's a challenge or otherwise, and being able to do what they were supposed to do. But those are, you know, who don't necessarily know. You got to figure out a way to make this happen. It's important. We want to be able to see productivity and progression in this particular area.
And hold people accountable.
You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to do that. So, and also, guys, if you're out there, and I got to be able to say this, like I said to you, this was an ongoing thing for me for years. I dreaded going to NIB. I dreaded going to these particular spaces. You waited, you didn't know, they wasn't sure, they dragging
none of the things, you don't know anything.
You talk to your inspector, the inspector feel like you bothering,
you bothering them. These are the things you're saying.
I didn't give you 8,000 people to inspect. That ain't me. That ain't my business.
But this is the space that you're seeing these things take place. And there are some behemoths that are able to go and deal with that, or pay somebody to deal with that for them. Because a lot of people do that.
It took me years before I got to this particular position to be able to do that. But that's it, man. I want to be able to do that. I think that was a very good segment that we had a good conversation about. Guys, let's take this quick commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
In 2010, a grant helped Bahamas Striping group of companies get started. Today, that seed has grown into a national force, building roads, airports, and brighter futures. Now, we're leading the way through public-private partnerships, what we call 3Ps, where government vision meets private sector innovation. 3Ps empowers local subcontractors, giving them the chance to bid. And with every contract, we're putting money directly into communities, creating jobs, supporting families, and fueling growth. From roads in Eleuthera to community centers in the inner city, we're not just laying asphalt, we're laying foundations for financial opportunity. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we believe in building more than infrastructure. We're building up Bahamians who build the Bahamas. 3Ps, public-private partnerships for people, progress, and prosperity.
Cousin of mine who was the leader of one of the biggest gangs in this country during the early 90s. The gang that he was a part of tried to recruit all of us. If you're not strong, you can fall prey to that environment. I did not join because I was kept involved in positive activities. I saw what worked, what didn't work, and I just was able to utilize all of the gifts and talents over the years to impact young persons' lives throughout our nation. I realized every single individual has the freedom to choose. But if you choose light, these are the benefits. If you choose darkness, these are the results of your choice. I've seen music bring young persons from gangs through a trumpet, through a clarinet, through a drum, all because of the power of music. Conflict will come, circumstances will come. We just have to be consistent, dedicated, and committed with our young persons. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
I am a master plumber by profession. I've been doing plumbing for over 40 odd years. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with polio. To me, living with polio, I took it the way it is. I never allowed my polio to get in my way of anything. In fact, I love when people doubt me, and I just prove them wrong. And let me tell you, in the world, you could only find a plumber as good as me, but you ain't gonna find no plumber better than me. People with disability, they just need a chance. In this program, I feel so encouraged. Most of the mentors have different kind of disability, but disabilities like me. Sharing and caring and showing so much support with people with disability. They would encourage you to go beyond. I wish this was around a long time ago. Right now, I would have been a millionaire. You out there who have a disability, don't be afraid. Take the step. If you believe it, you could achieve it. And remember one thing, ain't no one better than me, and ain't no one better than y'all. God made all us equal.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rundown. I'm Howard Grant. There's a great deal of things that have been going on since we've been on vacation, my God. And we coming back here, you would assume that the thing would subside whilst people are on vacation and, you know, kind of rear its ugly head in September, but the thing ain't stopped. It's still out here, and a lot of people are back and forth being able to talk about these things. And the number of things that I would have seen over the past few days, few weeks while I was off, and just being able to ingest this information and understand these things, and then being able to come back home to this kind of a, I don't even know what to make of this, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I want to say this, and I don't want to call nobody name, and I never want to put nobody under the bus, and being able to identify these things. But one of the things that, and I'm sitting here with none other than Ian Munnings tonight, who is our resident political analyst, being able to talk about those things. I'm always grateful for him to be with us. One of the things that I have to be able to say, Ian, let's just talk about this now. One of the things I got to be able to say with clarity is that I don't think a lot of people take into consideration that what we would have suffered or endured or was faced with over the past 15, 20, 30 years in this country with the back and forth of our political organization, that environment has shifted. The PLP has won consecutively.
Yes.
Okay? Now, what would have happened before is that there was a scurry to ensure that PLPs were taken care of, that they would eat, that they was in a good position, that they could make some money for the past 5 years, that they could be able to do whatever they have to do, and that they could move, whether that's the PLP or the FNM, whatever government is in, whatever political organization is in, responsible for taking care of its people for quickly. For 5 years.
That's been a practice.
Unfortunately, the next 5 years, if the opposing political organization wins, then you find yourself in this kind of a position where you may be out in the wilderness. You may be out of a job, you may be out of an opportunity, especially if you are a staunch political advocate who's put your face out there, your name out there, your position out there. You may not get no money. Unfortunately, I say this right, you may not get no money because you oppose our position.
Of course.
Okay? That's just what it is. He says right, I say it's wrong, I say that's what it is. People are performing, acting, and speaking as though we are in the exact same environment. People are performing and acting as though we are in the exact same environment and that the FNM is in now and now you've rejected us, forgetting that the PLP has just won the past 5 years. So you may have been in a position where you was getting something, but your expectation now is to be able to hold on to this one thing for a decade without even considering your PLP brothers and sisters. What has happened with beaches and parks most recently?
It's a big debacle.
I don't even talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I don't talk about it. What
I'm going to be frank. I'm going to be very candid when I speak about.
It's crazy. Go ahead.
About the scenario at beaches and parks and the controversy that we have seen explode in social media, etc. I want to say this. There are some people that believe that they have a right to passage, or right because this is my political party and this is the party that I've campaigned with. I'll say this to you. If the government of the day, who you supported, warned the government, and you're an entrepreneur, and beaches and parks, and most likely hire people to do roads and beaches, those contracts that you've gotten from the government, if you got $1,000 a month and you had that contract for 5 years, the question what I'll ask you, Howard, is this. Have this $1,000 made your life any better? Have you taken the contract money that you was getting? Do you own your lawnmower, your weed whacker, your edges, your clippers, your blowers? And now you can actually make up your cards and your flyer and use social media and pump your business and say, hey, I use this to catapult myself now into the private sector, and now I don't really need to go to beaches and parks to get this contract. That contract could go to somebody else now to help them.
Oh, there's no consideration for other people. What you talking about?
This is
who care what other people say?
But this is the problem. So you on a lifeline now. You're on a lifeline, right? Right now. And for 5 years you've been riding this thing. And 5 years later, you're still in the same space where you started from. That's the problem.
Yeah, see, but what happened is
That's the problem. That's the problem.
And I don't necessarily blame all this. Now, let's be decent now.
We must take evaluation.
I don't necessarily blame all this on the individual. This is a part of the conditioning of governments.
This has been a practice.
The government, after the acquisition of power, your political organization have a claim, has been able to wrestle and get their power. And now they sit in the position of government.
To build the people.
To build the people.
But are you truly being built?
But the conditioning says that we will take care of you. The Bahamian people, far and wide.
But they have a responsibility also.
Bahamian people, far and wide, lean on the dependency that comes from the government. Now, this doesn't just happen locally. It happens internationally.
But I think what Leslie Miller would have said in terms of some persons in the social media hearing them, and they're threatening members of parliament, and they're saying if this doesn't happen, and this doesn't happen, and that doesn't happen, per se, right? That's taking place right now. So you're pressured to make a decision based on some social media persons, and then Leslie would have made mention. Leslie, there are some people.
Come on, man.
But then Leslie would have made mention that some of those persons weren't always with the PLP. They don't come from the neighborhood of the PLP.
These kind of conversation, let Howard Grant tell you this, okay? Let Howard Grant tell you this. Let's be clear. Put the camera right here. Let's be clear about this, okay? Politics time is over. The PLP, and I would say this, and I said this on the radio show, and I would say it here in this particular space. The PLP has won in 2021 because of a lackluster position and a disdain for the former Prime Minister, Hubert Minnis. They win in 21. The PLP won in 26 because of lack of organization, lack of foresight, lack of capability from the Free National Movement. And if the Free National Movement keeps its course, and this particular capacity, the PLP will win again in 2031. Let's just be very clear. That means potentially 15 years. You mean to tell me only PLPs can eat in 15 years? Huh?
I just want to be decent when you say something like that.
Decent? I only asking you a question. You mean to tell me that the only people who are supposed to get contract for potentially 15 years is PLP. The PLP could never win in 2031 if that's the case. If they don't seek inclusion, if they don't seek diversity, if they don't seek opportunity, if they don't identify talent and being able to ensure that they spread the wealth in all aspects, there could be absolutely no chance of them winning in 31. if they teach on this kind of a course, if they empower talent, if they identify these particular people, if they look beyond the boundaries, there's no way that Jamal Strong could have ever win Nassau Village with only PLP votes. You'll have to think about what this is. This is diversity, this is expansion. What kind of conversation are we having locally? Politics time is over. Put your pit bulls that y'all let out who ain't never get past grade 7.
Put them in the cage.
Oh, God, I just want to be decent.
So some of them ain't past grade 7.
I just want to be decent with you.
Some of them ain't past grade 7.
Listen to me. Social promotion has placed people in positions that they should never be.
Facts.
And politicians in their particular capacity who have been able to endow these men and women with a loose mouth to cuss every Jesus body out for nothing on social media, and you giving them money to do that, you waste. You're wasting that.
I would agree with that.
You're wasting them. Because this is the only thing that they ever knew as survival. And you gave them a platform, recognition, and you made them professional cussers. You know, he's become a professional, right? You only get paid to do what you just do. This is a professional when the people decide to pay you for what you just do. So you made them professional cussers. But you don't seem to understand that politics time is over. Put them back in the war chest. When you need them, they will always be there. Don't mind them mumbling and grumbling. And you say to them, here, take this $2,500 contract. Take this $1,500 contract and just be quiet for a little while. When we need you, we will call you.
That's rocks.
I mean, let's be very clear, okay? $50,000 is a big contract for a great dealer. I want to tell you, you talked about this before. $50,000 is a great deal, is a big deal for a great deal of these particular persons. In their natural lives, many persons, and I don't want to be able to disparage anyone or trying to be, because I ain't calling no one name, I'm saying to you, in certain persons' natural lives, they would have never seen $25,000 if they had to go apply for a job. I mean, I just trying to be decent. Their qualifications don't ever give them an opportunity to be able to make $25,000 in a job. A $50,000 contract is a big contract. Whether that's you're cutting or you're picking up garbage or you're picking up all these, whatever you're doing, $50,000 is a lot. You could teach them how to be able to manage their funds to be able to become successful over the next few years.
And that is something I agree with that.
That's $250,000 over 5 years if you're being able to hold on to this particular contract. Let's just be decent with this. Let's be decent with the conversation. Okay? You need to figure out a way to be able to put these people back in your proverbial and political war chest. You have them coming out here cursing out ministers who's trying to be able to stabilize themselves in their position. They're cussing out every single one because of their lack of satisfaction. And the endorphins that you get when people say, well, child, I hear you today. You did good, eh? You need to stop that. Stop it. It's time for us to get back on track, let the government do what it's supposed to do. And you know what the worst thing for me, I might as well tell you this, for Jesus, oh God, the worst thing for me to see is Michael Pintard being able to go out to fight for the Johnson lady. Because it's disingenuous. If you really wanted Erinique, I think that's her name, if you really wanted Erinique to get a job, that was a casual conversation that you could make among colleagues. Hey, listen, I understand the political heat that could be able to come down, Jamal. Is there anything that you could be able to do for the young lady?
He could have gone to the Prime Minister.
I can't do it like this.
He could have gone to the Prime Minister.
You ain't got to go to the Prime Minister.
He could have gone number one. He's the opposition leader.
Listen, I need you to be able to do something. Can Zane do something? Can you put her in the Ministry of Environment? Listen, Jamal already knows that she's capable if she's done a workshop for him already. I do not understand why we have to go outside and pick it. Erinique will never get a job now. I mean, not from this particular standpoint.
Oh, Lord.
I just want to be decent with you as I say this. I'm not trying to be able to denigrate anyone. I'm saying to you, you have to know when to hold them. You have to know when to fold them. You have to know when it's time to row. And you have to know when to be able to play with this vinegar and this honey. All this conversation was, for me, was a honey conversation. Hey, listen, I know this is my girl. She's good. She's very good at what she does. Yes, she definitely supports the F&M. See if you could be able to do something for her. I think that was simple.
Simple conversation.
It was a simple conversation. If he couldn't do it, you'd call Zane. Now, all the information that came to the forefront that we read in the newspaper that actually indicated that it was a fruitful conversation, that you're going to be able to find a path, why would Michael Pintard again come back and try to shame them. Oh, no, she definitely put in her resignation. Whether it happened or didn't happen, we're going to accommodate the Johnson lady.
Results.
We get to figure these things out, man. We're having a good conversation and talking about these things and trying to be able to identify how do we get to a level of sanity as it relates to productivity post-election. Election time is over.
It's work time now.
Let's get to the productivity and growth of this country. Quick break, guys. Going to be right back after this.
Behind every strong economy is a bold entrepreneur, and we're here to support them, island by island. On Grand Bahama, we've helped 486 entrepreneurs turn their dreams into thriving businesses. Through over $14.4 million in approved funding, the SBDC is strengthening Grand Bahama's economy by investing in its leading sectors: food and beverage, tourism, and fishing. Every business we support strengthens the economy, starting with yours. SBDC Bahamas.
Oh, you're still here?
But of course you are. But be sure to tune in every weekday at 7:30 p.m. for the Bahamas Tonight Access Now,
where we bring you the brighter side of news.
Join us for the Bahamas Tonight
Access Now, weeknights at 7:30 p.m.
Well, what about me? What about you? What? Well, I thirsty too, you know. You want to see all the water out there? Well, why you don't give me your water, and then you go try and drink that salt water? You crazy, eh? I ain't the one talking to a dog, you know. Ain't nobody can drink salt water. Then why you won't give it to me? All dogs need fresh, cool water and sufficient shelter from the sun all year round, especially on the beach and during the hot summer months.
Summers are very hot here in the Bahamas, so please make sure all pets have ample, cool, fresh water in proper containers and sufficient shelter from the sun, even on the beach. And make sure all dog houses and kennels have proper ventilation. Let's make it Bahamian to be humane.
This message has been brought to you by the Bahamas Humane Society and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I had to deflate. It's too much. It's too much. We're back here at the Rundown. This is Howard Grant. Grateful to be in your company. Always grateful to be here with you. I'm sitting here with none other than my resident political analyst, none other than Ian Munnings, as he continues to be able to talk about it, and we chop it down, get the rundown and the skinny of what's happening in our country today. We started off being able to talk about road traffic and the indifference that exists with delivery drivers. We went on to be able to talk about TCCs and being able to understand from a leadership standpoint what needs to happen for productivity and this kind of a seamless approach to being able to get to a position if we're talking about the ease of doing business. And then we ended up talking about what was happening as it relates to the distribution of contracts and the potentially being able to identify persons being placed into positions of leadership on strategic positions in governance. I care not to have an in-depth conversation about who's saying what, because these people who are talking don't qualify. I just want to be decent. The people who are talking and saying who should get a contract, who shouldn't get a contract, who is this, and where they come from, and so forth and so on, you don't even qualify in the capacity that these particular persons are. The fact of the matter is that there is a cross-section of talent in this country across the FNM and the PLP. In fact, the Free National Movement's leadership that you continue to be able to hoist on your shoulders as a society to say that he is the best thing since sliced bread was a PLP. And he came with his skill, his talent, his insight, his desires to be able to see growth and development in the country, and he did everything that he can do to make the FNM what it is. We have to be very clear about this. There's not only one side of this particular prospect. This is the Bahamas that we're dealing with. And if we're going to go back to post-67, if we're going to go back to this position of 25 years of leadership by the PLP, how could there ever be an expectation in 2026 and beyond that only PLPs qualify, only PLPs are educated, only PLPs are insightful, only PLPs are capable of these opportunities? Leadership knows talent when they see it. The Prime Minister knows talent when he sees it. And he continues to create opportunities for those particular persons to thrive, to spread their wings, to get access, to get funding, to do all these things. The Prime Minister within himself, he may be top general in the PLP, but he's a nationalist at heart. And every leader under him has to take on a coat and an understanding of nationalism first, especially if you want to retain your position. Let's be very clear about that. These people, you need to put them back in the war chest. The war room, you need to cut it off. Whatever supplies that you were feeding to your war room, cut that off. Get back to leadership in this country. How are we talking? Talk to me.
It's fine that you would say something like that, Howard. We're looking at the country and looking at nation building. How do we build a nation if we're not on one accord? There's going to be a break-in in the country. It's going to be a break-in in your family. There's going to be a break-in throughout the system. The reality is this. After the election, the Bahamian people in a democratic society, they go out, they voice their opinion, they vote. After the time then they voted, they have an opportunity after that, whomever win the government. It's business as usual, like you said, after that time's expired. We have to be able to think about ways to make that our country can progress. We need progression. We need people, young people, who are on the sidelines, like you're saying, persons with talent. The leaders that are here, they need to identify these people. It doesn't matter whom you voted for. The reality of it is that.
That's not even a question.
That's not even a question.
I don't even ask you who you vote for.
How can you assist in building this country? This is what we have to be asking ourselves. There are too many things that is happening globally, and we here in the Bahamas, and the things that we are bickering about, in most cases, if we take some of that effort and challenge that effort towards doing some things, we could fix a lot of our problems. We can't fix our problem when he's worrying about who got a contract here, he's worrying about who this person is, and who's the biggest this, and who's been in a political party forever, and who just reached, and that's finished. We need leaders who are determined to say, I want to see changes in the country. I ride through places like in our inner cities. You can go into the Bain towns and to the Camp Roads and to those particular areas of that nature, and I look at the condition of the people. I look at the condition of the people as myself. So if the leaders are riding through these communities and constituencies and they're seeing their people, I call it our people, because we're one nation. And you're seeing that the clapboard houses are still there with leaky roofs that we haven't addressed. We've seen outside toilets that are still prevalent in those communities, right? We're seeing persons that don't have running water and maybe have to go to the pump still. This is, like you said, from 67 to now. I remember the trolleys and people pushing the trolleys and filling up with water bottles. And they're still doing that now.
They're still doing that.
This is my point, and it's still happening right now. So we're looking at the development of our people. How do we develop our people? How do we give our people an opportunity to become owners? Post-73, we had people who couldn't work downtown for particular reasons, right? And so they came over the hill, and they worked over the hill, and they developed over the hill, et cetera, right? This is some 50-plus odd years. And I haven't seen the people go back to Bay Street in ownership positions. This is something that the young people should be concerned about. Not being just workers and come to be a bussy or come over here and be a jet ski operator or so forth. We need real ownerships to our table. We need to be able to be placed in a space.
I said that.
That's what we need.
I said that. I said that, and I had a great conversation today. My phone lines were down, so I wasn't able to interact, but I had a great conversation today. And I just look back at this sort of a contrast, and I can say this in this last few minutes. The contrast that I gave today spoke to our Prime Minister really tussling in the land of legacy, in our minds, in our hearts, with Hubert Alexander Ingram for a position as best among the living. right? The current Prime Minister, Brave Davis, being able to find himself significantly being able to supersede in the minds and hearts of persons. And in that contrast, I said, leadership is birthed to be able to deal with an issue that exists now, okay? When you become a leader and you're birthed to a position, you have the responsibility of being able to deal with whatever issues now. Hubert Ingram was very good at what he did. He was birthed in a time when there was a perceived corruption coming out of the PLP. Now, I could go far and wide with this and say to you that he may not necessarily would have agreed with this sentiment, but he knew that there was an appetite socially that says we got to get rid of this corruption. And so he came up with a concept. We got to be transparent. There's got to be government in the sunshine. And as a result of that, he was absolutely, because he ran with that at the forefront, he was absolutely undeniable in his position. Gave him 2 terms. I believe with the greatest degree of grace and gratitude, I say this to you with humility. I believe that Perry Christie, former Prime Minister Perry Christie, would have missed that opportunity in 2002 because he was birthed during a time when there was a transition and technological advancement. He missed the opportunity. He didn't take advantage of the Y2K. He didn't take advantage of the advancements and concepts. He didn't take an advantage of the concepts of being able to include. You understand? I believe in 2007, Hubert Ingram would have missed the opportunity again because in 2007, people was hungry for entrepreneurialism. They was hungry for opportunity. They was hungry for a great deal of things. Instead of him being able to diversify and disperse PPPs to fix the road and to fix all the plumbing and this and that, he decided to put this on the shoulder of the government. He lost. If this was PPPs, we can't go get you.
And he had 18 months to prove that.
Nobody would row and say the road dig up yet, because why? This is my cousin contract, eh? You all just be patient.
You would have seen it come to reality.
You would see some different things happen. And now this Prime Minister, let's just put it on, this Prime Minister is birthed in a time when the Bahamian people, back to what you said, needs, wants, desires ownership. They want a house. They want land.
Basic.
They want entrepreneurialism opportunities. They want business. They want to secure themselves and their family for the future.
That can be given.
And this Prime Minister seems to be working towards that. This is a great conversation, man. I want to thank you so very kindly for the opportunity to be able to do this.
It's always
my guy. We're going to be able to do this again. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it for us here this evening. It's Wednesday evening. Make sure you stay locked in. The ZNS Network for the Bahamas tonight at 11 p.m. is the final newscast of the country with the latest news and information from Colville Piper. From all of us here at ZNS and The Rundown, I'm Howard Grant. Thanks so much for joining us.
Energy is the foundation of every modern economy, powering our homes, businesses, and industries. Today, the Bahamas is taking a major step toward a cleaner, more